We are on Geek Mode Online. This is our first podcast in a little while. I am Martel Berry, aka Marty Mar, for all those that read geekmodeonline.com. I am the co-founder, senior editor, writer, other stuff on that website. So there's me moderating. But we got two admins in the building. That's basically our guests for today. I got DA.
Yo, what's up, peoples?
Nicely, nicely. He is an admin on our Facebook Geek Mode group. He is notorious. He is infamous, but he is the admin. So respect the admin.
Hey,
Uh,
I
our
only
second
live to
guest.
serve.
Thank you, brother, which is muchly appreciated. Our second admin is the one and only TJ. I would tell you his full name, but I don't want to butcher it. But he is another admin of ours, a Detroit native. I like to point that out for some reason. Ever since I found out TJ was from Detroit, it was like, I just, I think RoboCop, so, that's got to be a good thing.
Y'all to protect and serve.
So how are you, brother? How are you, TJ?
Cheers, everybody. I'm good. I'm glad to be here today.
All right, all right, all right. All right, so, what we'll do now is, I guess, as we go, we'll warm up a little bit. Before we get started, is there anything that you guys want to say? Anything you guys are excited about? Anything that comes to your mind right now before we really get started?
Well, y'all got to forgive me for some of these British slang terms I'm going to be dropping. I spent the whole 2 weeks or so in London, so I picked up a lot of language I'm not used to.
London. How did you like it?
It was a proper good time.
Oh, really, really, really. Probably. Aren't you married, brother, if I may? I mean, I hope I'm not getting too much into your business.
I am.
It's not really geek related, but I got to ask.
I am.
Okay, so you said you had a good time. Like, I ain't trying to get you in trouble, but make sure your wife is not listening.
Wow. Nah, by good time, I mean it was a good time.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave it at that. We'll leave
Right.
it at that.
DA, what about yourself, brother?
Well, I'm right here out of Chicago. I've been just chilling for the past, I just go to work and I come home and geek.
Shout rock.
Right, right. I feel you. I feel you. For all those that want to know, if you guys have if we have any listeners, or we'll have any listeners from the Geek Mode group, which I'm sure we will. If any one of you wonder why I disappeared, why Martel disappeared from the group, it was because I had an unfortunate car accident. I got hit by a car, kind of bad, kind of put me out the loop for a little while. I haven't quite made my full return yet, but I figured I could at least do a couple of podcasts here and there, just to let you guys know that I'm still alive and getting well. All right. So with that said, we'll get started on our next. We'll get started with our actual, podcast and all that good stuff. All right. So I'm going to start off with this one. Heroes Reborn. All right. Heroes Reborn. I just want to present it to everyone for everyone to see. All right, now. Heroes Reborn is making its return sometime this year, I'm guessing. Or they're supposed to start production this year. It's going to be starring that guy from Chuck. It's his name, Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah.
His name is Chuck.
I mean, that's not his name in real life, though, right?
No, his name is Chuck. No.
Okay, so Chuck it is. So, so it's starring him. They're going to have, before the series actually picks up for their 13th episode first season stint, with new characters, they're going to be doing like a digital introduction of all the characters that's going to be presented on that show. I guess what I'm asking you guys now, I'll start with you, DA. Do you think this is dope or is it whack?
Well, here's the thing. With Heroes, I'm one of the few people out there who has never seen season 1. And I came in on season 2, and everyone I know, they said season 2 sucked, and then it just progressively got worse. Now, I thought season 2 was amazing, so I never did get a chance to actually go back and see season 1. And as the seasons progressed, then I started noticing, I was like, yeah, this is kind of out there. If they have an entirely new set of writers, I think that this can be a dope idea. The only thing that I'm caught up on is the simple fact that it is they're introducing characters digitally, and I understand that, this is a digital age, you got second screens, everybody doing that, but not everybody's going to necessarily, follow that. So I'm hoping that enough people, that it makes enough sense that where you don't have to see the digital shorts, for more people to catch on. But of course, they did that so people can go to the website and see it. But I think it's an okay idea, in my opinion. It's not, I'm like, I really can't say that this is an incredible idea, this is a dope idea, but it's just an okay idea, because it ain't gonna matter if these digital shorts are good if the TV show is whack.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right. But before I move on to TJ, I mean, the digital shorts do come out before the show. So, I mean, I would definitely agree with you more if it was coming out during the show, but if it's supposed to come out before the show to introduce, what do you think about that then, if they were to really do it that way?
I say, like maybe if they came out like a few weeks before, and then like, of course, because people are going to post it on Facebook, they're going to post it on Twitter, people are going to run to it and they're going to show their friends and family, and I guess it could work then, because I don't recall. I remember, when Heroes was still on the air, Twitter wasn't all that big. It was big, but it wasn't, it wasn't as it is now. And Facebook, well, old people still didn't know how to use Facebook, and so you got to make sure you encompass the whole range of age groups for this show. But I think that if the buzz is generated good enough, it's got to be a good enough buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was just to touch on what you were saying. There was a sort of a supplemental webisode series for the original series, and that webisode stuff was actually better written than the actual show. But it was one of the things where not a lot of people knew about it, and I think from what it sounds like to me, they're trying to make this sort of web series to be like integral to the show as opposed to supplemental, which I think it's a big negative. I feel like, how often does the average TV viewer log on to a website just to watch something ahead of watching their favorite TV show,
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's something that they kind of do, if they do like a little 2 or 3 minute stint where they can tag it at the end of the episodes as they're airing, or they can come in during a commercial break or something where you can kind of show it what's going on without actually having to seek out the information, I think it'll help. But ultimately, I just feel like it's going to get lost in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real talk. Because if you think about it, there's so much viral marketing that honestly it gets lost.
Yeah.
By the common moviegoer. And only the hard, because guess who finds out about stuff? It's always the hardcore fan that's on some message board who has all the time in the world to like open a website's code and look for certain videos, that are on a time release. It's like it's some stuff is just too deep, but I appreciate that because they do that for the fans, for the super geeks.
Mm-hmm. So, with that said, y'all, and I guess I'll move to TJ. TJ, are you excited about the show coming back?
Well, when I first heard the title, I thought it was like a new Marvel tie-in. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, all right, guys, Marvel are making another announcement for another something that's not well thought out. I got nervous a little bit. I'm like, are we doing Heroes Reborn already? Like, is this Scarlet Witch's secret world or what? What's happening right now? And then, then I found out it was a tie-in to Heroes, which, I know you said you didn't see the first season of Heroes, but the fault with that show was that first season was amazing because it was new. The second season was a rehash of the first season. It was the exact same plot line, and it kind of negated everything that happened in the first season. And then, every season after that was almost like let's just do away with everything that happened the season before with no explanation. And I feel like as long as they can avoid that loophole, as long as they can avoid running in circles like that, I think you have a potential for another great show. I mean, this is the best time in the world for genre TV right now. So strike while the iron's hot.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. DA, so in case it's not clear, so I'm guessing you are excited about the show's return.
I'm excited. Kind of. I'm not all the way there because I lost faith in the show.
Okay.
you know, once the show went off the air, my whole mindset was like, okay, NBA is tripping. I mean, NBC is tripping, and they need, you know, somebody, you know, this needs to go to sci-fi.
Right.
And you know, I'm thinking, you know, maybe Sci-Fi or Spike TV or somebody should, you know, should buy the rights to Heroes and continue it. And little did I know that they were just sitting on it until it was time for it to come back. So the hype is gone because, you know, there were certain characters that I wanted to see that never came, you know, came into, you know, into fruition. Like what happened to Angela's sister? You know, I wanted to, you know, she disappeared. She was like, hey, you let me out, and then she just disappeared, and we never heard from her again. You know, I do like the fact that, you know, they bringing back the horn rim glasses guy. You know, and
he's the only one coming back though, right?
Well, it's him and isn't Zachary Quinto coming back?
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was only.
I mean, from what I've read so far, no. No
yeah.
one.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it only seems to be one or maybe a couple of characters that's returning from the original, but I think so far the main one. Well, I think the main thing is Noah.
Noah Bennett is good enough for me then.
Right. Okay.
He had no powers whatsoever, but he was the most gangster out of everybody, and he gotta have a Haitian with him.
Yeah, has to, right?
Right. All right. I'll cap it off then with this.
Well, wait, before you cap it off, let's do some predictions because just knowing how the series ended before, assuming that they pick it up right after the series ended before, how do they start the show? Like, what's the show now? Like, are we going into a world where heroes, supernatural beings exist and everyone knows about it, and it's sort of like, how are they living now, or are they going to try to rehash it and have it more, the world doesn't know what this is, but we kind of know what's going on scenario, you know, like the way I envisioned it, you know, Chuck's character essentially will be living in a world where there are heroes, there are these supernatural things, there is everything else going on, and it's him trying to come to terms with it, you know, where the world kind of are prejudiced against these supernatural beings, and he's trying to like deal with the fact that he is one, and they're trying to hide it. Or do they rehash it and just say, hey, none of this happened before, but this is what's going on now? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm expecting. I have no faith in the networks. So I think they're just going to rehash. They're going to make like everything that happened before didn't happen, or they can just say everybody died except for Noah. You know, everybody died except for Noah. Now they starting over. They building a company from the ground up.
See, and I would love to. What would get me excited is to see, and I can't even think of the X-Men arc, but like sort of like the Morlock situation or something where, you know, all the heroes from the original one, they were hunted down, maybe killed, prosecuted, or whatever, and went into hiding. And now whenever there's a hero that's born now, they're almost instantly executed or stuck in a concentration camp or something.
Fast.
Yeah. Days of Future Past storyline, but just not as apocalyptic, but just we follow the story from Zachary or Chuck.
Oh, I got you. You know, what was it? The mutant registration. That's what it was.
Right. I think that's the arc that that TJ was probably really thinking about.
Right.
Registration Act. Right.
So you kick it off with that, and you kind of get that adventure of like, how is Chuck trying to, you know, he doesn't want to go through that process. Maybe he got a family or something, and you kind of follow the adventure there, you know.
Yeah, call him Chuck.
Right. For me, there's two things about this. One being, I never liked Heroes. I've never finished a season of Heroes.
Wow.
Right. When I watched Heroes, it was kind of like, first of all, Jeff Loeb is attached to it. I don't particularly like Jeff Loeb's style. Like even though he was just a consultant and everything, it's not like he wrote all the episodes. But the thing is, they do this, save the cheerleader, save the world type thing. So they always love to leave you on a cliffhanger, just to get you to come back. So I could kind of, for me, already see the okie doke from the very beginning. Like I was really, really bored watching episodes, but because you don't know what's going on, it forces you to come back so you can figure out like that little bit that you may want to know more about. And I'm like, look, I ain't got the time to do it. I'm sorry. So I avoided it. And I knew that they were kind of like taking from, like, I would read up on it and see that they were taking from other like comic book stories, kind of like just directly ripping from like the headlines of other comic book stories in the past. So I was just like, I'm okay. What I think, though, what they're probably going to do now with Heroes Reborn is they're going to try to keep up with the trend keep up with the trend of where comic book movies or comic book genre is now. I think Heroes in the beginning, they were really just trying. They were kind of doing the basic superhero stuff, if you ask me, from what I know and what I've read and what I've seen. It was very done, kind of like dun da da da, but not really, but kind of like that cheese factor a little bit. It kind of had like that cheesy feeling that I really couldn't get with. But I think now they're probably going to really downplay that now because comic book genre is being taken more seriously, while still trying to hold on to that fun. I think the original Heroes had more camp in it, even though it was kind of like with the suspense feel, it still had a certain level of camp that I really couldn't get with. I think in Heroes Reborn, they're going to dial that down a little bit, because it can be taken more seriously while still trying to hold on to the suspense and all the things that you guys have just mentioned. All right, so I'm gonna cap that off, and we're gonna move on to the next topic. And give me a sec, y'all. Entertain yourselves if you have to.
Yeah.
Yay.
I blame you for Chief Keef.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. See, I'm not from Chicago, actually. I just live here. So,
wow.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Chicago don't even like Chief Keef.
Oh, my goodness. Your man said, I blame you for Chief Keef. God damn. Okay, here's the next one, y'all. Avengers number 40. Right, spoiler alert, if you are listening, this is a spoiler alert. We know about what happens in Avengers number 40. If you don't, skip ahead. Don't turn this off. Skip ahead.
I'm on the podcast. How can I skip ahead?
Not you. People who are tuned in.
I forgot to do my homework. Dog didn't do homework.
Well, you're gonna have to get spoiled. See, this is your F. So this is your penance. You're gonna have to find out what happens. All right, issue number 40. Spoilers again. Black Panther's in it. As a matter of fact, TJ, because you know about the entire issue, why don't you give us a brief introduction of Avengers number 40?
All right, we'll start it off this way with the spoiler right on top. Namor is dead. Dead. Gone. Dusted. No more. Namor is no more. I did it.
Is that what that is? Marvel, I'm sorry to interrupt. Marvel like to kill people when a movie coming out. So.
Right.
Hey. So I wonder if he was supposed to make a special appearance in Josh Trank's Chronicles 2. Wow. Fantastic Four.
See.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll get into that at some point.
So just to kind of give you a brief overview, if you've been following along with these Avengers storyline, this incursion nonsense, these multiple worlds where heroes have to kill other worlds in order for our world to stay alive. It's probably the worst version of the multiverse I think has ever been committed to paper.
Right.
In this storyline, a combination of Black Panther's very, very bad year comes to a head. He finally gets Namor alone and basically deals a killing blow, stabs him in the heart, has a little assistance from Black Bolt. Black Bolt kicks him off the helicarrier. Namor falls to a planet. The planet is then destroyed. Although we don't see Namor's body, it is assumed he is dead.
Right. Okay, so now with that said, here is my dilemma about all this. See, the reason why Black Panther wanted to kill Namor is because he basically wanted to get vengeance or justice or whatever you want to call it on Namor for flooding Wakanda during is it AVX or is it Avengers versus X-Men?
Avengers versus X-Men.
Okay.
Same thing, right?
Right. Basically, right. So my whole thing is like, okay, cool, you got revenge on Namor, but the question that I have today for this topic is, how come you didn't get the same type of revenge on Doom? When Doom tried to kill him during Dark Reign, well, basically put him out of commission for a long time to the point where another Black Panther had to come in, his sister. Why did he never go after Doom? TJ, what are your thoughts on it? Like, how do you feel about that? You think that's dope, or you think that's whack?
And I don't want to go too deep into history and Marvel lore or like my certain issues with Marvel currently, but I am because I can.
Right.
So before we to really get an understanding of this storyline and why it makes no sense, and just look at the cover. Like, I want everybody, because I know there are certain members of the group that are quick to shit on me whenever I bring this up. Look at the cover of what's happening on the cover of, you know, Avengers number 40.
Right.
You have Thanos, you have Namor, who's, you know, dead, whatever, we got that. You got Sue, who's in the background being hot blonde white chick. And then you have the Black Captain America and the Black Panther with their hand, you know, with a massive fist around both of their throats. They're basically
going there. Are you going there?
I'm going there. So before we even go into that, let's talk about the complete destruction of Black Panther. You know, the king of Wakanda, the only African nation to never be conquered. Black Panther was essentially the most powerful person in the Marvel Universe without being the most powerful person in the Marvel Universe. He was like an unbeatable foe, you know? And then all of a sudden, it's been like a 3-year, 4-year run of just like, how can we destroy Black Panther?
True.
Let's take his wife away. Let's take his country's wealth away. Let's have him be beaten in the dumbest way possible by Doom. Like, it wasn't even clever. It was like, oh, this is the thing that you guys have fought off for years, but Doom comes in, and he's just going to be like the most European white male in the world. He's going to come in. He's going to clown you in front of your people. He's going to beat you senseless. He's going to leave you for dead, and then you have to crawl and have your sister take over. And then you go, we took everything. We took the entire country's wealth, which is, you know, systematic of Africa.
Right.
Their gold or whatever has been taken by this whole whatever power, whatever you want to call it.
Right, and the vibranium.
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into that world, but you know,
right.
we've all read the history books.
Right. Absolutely.
So then you have that, and you go, okay, well, he's still Black Panther. He'll still be tough. Well, he goes to New York Hell's Kitchen, puts on a SWAT suit, gets punked left and right. Damn near cheats on Storm with some little white girl in Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
Comes back to Wakanda. He's no longer the king. His sister's the king. He's the king of the dead now because, you know, how else do you represent the king of Africa if you're not the king of the dead?
Right.
And all of a sudden, Namor gets these magical powers, comes in, floods his town, destroys everybody, kills everybody. Namor destroys the entire Wakanda. Black Panther, you know, is in shambles, goes to his ancestors. His ancestors turn their back on him, call him a coward for not killing Namor, call him everything in the book. Black Panther ends up going, okay, well, we got to stop the rest of these incursions and everything else. And we get all that to get all the way to this point. Black Panther gets his revenge, right? So you have Black Panther standing there. You have him go to Namor. He says something along the lines of, you know, I have this blade. It's going to go where it belongs. He stabbed Namor in the heart. Namor essentially laughs at him. Like, you know that this isn't going to kill me. Black Panther goes, I know. I thought it would, but I know. And then all of a sudden, Black Bolt comes out, tag me in partner, yells some shit, screams. Namor goes flying off of a planet, lands on a planet. Goes flying off a helicarrier, lands on a planet. Black Panther looks in Black Bolt. Black Bolt looks at him like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's get out of here. Black Panther goes, oh, no, I know that you hurt him, but I want him to, like, understand that he's going to die now. So I'm going to wait until he wakes up, and then I'm going to press the button.
Right.
Like, okay, that was your Deus Ex Machina.
Right.
So, Machina. So now that we waited till Namor woke up, it's not out of our realm of possibility to believe Namor woke up in time to teleport somewhere else or to fly away. Whatever. So, ultimately, Black Panther really didn't do anything.
Okay, so ultimately, I could say that you don't really care for this. Like, this is not enough.
Nope. So, sorry for that long-winded rant, but I mean, Jesus Christ, they bent to chill so wrong.
Yeah, I basically stepped away from the computer. I was like, I put my hands up. I walked back and said, listen, let this brother go, because obviously it's in him. It's deep down inside.
But I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. You want to tell the brother, no, you're too deep. Pull up. But I can see what you're saying because it's so subtle. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even know they did it themselves.
Yeah.
So because you can't be a all powerful black man for too long, because look at Bill Cosby. They'll find a way to bring you down.
Hey, Sam Wilson was a pimp at one point in time, right?
Right, very true. Very true. So so with that said, DA though, all that you've heard, not so much response to what TJ said. What do you think about Black Panther now finally, one, getting his revenge on Namor, but do you think that's enough, or do you think this is a step in the right direction? You think this is a good thing for Black Panther, or for this
I think
to even happen?
what I think is that they're trying to shake things up for the idea of the movie and trying to do some BS moves to try to make him relatable. And oh well, he's a king. He's this greatest person on earth or whatever, one of the greatest minds on earth, but nobody can relate to him. No.
You just described Batman.
Yeah, what I'm just saying, we can relate to him because because of his skin color. Most of us can relate to him because of his skin color, and that's pretty much enough.
Right.
And they tackled hardcore issues in his book. So now all of a sudden I'm like, hey, we announced we got a movie coming out, so we gotta find a way to dumb down this character.
Right.
So the average mass can so the average person can can accept that he is what he is.
Right.
And like I said before, they probably don't even know they're doing it.
Right. Okay.
So like one of my issues with that too, like I get what you're saying, DA too, but what happens to his character now? Like Martel pointed out, if he did all of this to take revenge on Namor, who's considered a good guy, Avenger or whatever, why didn't he do anything to Doom other than just he took the L. He took the L to Doom and was like, all right, thank you for that. I'm gonna dust my chin off. And he kept moving. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now there's really no more, like he can't really be an Avenger because he killed another Avenger, right? He has no Wakanda, so it's not like he can go back and be the king of Wakanda because that's gone. So what did they do? They just basically turned his character into a nobody. Like he's a nomad. And I mean, like, do I really care to read that story?
They're going to fix this in 12 months, I guarantee you. They're going to fix that. They're going to, after this Secret War goes on and this Battle World stuff takes place, everything will be back to normal.
Right.
I hope so.
Black Panther. Just let's make a wager. This is one of our first podcasts. Let's make a wager that after the Battle World situation and Secret World is over, that Black Panther will be the only one who don't return to normal. We'll see. And remember.
Well, look. Well, because his movie is coming out soon, another couple of years, I'll take that bet. I think he will go back to normal. I think he will get reinstated as, well, he is the king of Wakanda now, but I think he will, I think everything, his vibranium, everything will get reinstated and he will be A-okay because of his movie that's coming out. I will say, in terms of this issue in particular, I think story-wise and character-wise, especially with a character like Doom, this is why I have such an issue with it, if you go at Doom, you can make so much stories behind it. I'm not saying he has to beat Doom the way he beat Namor. I'm saying the fact that he's not always a thorn in Doom's side. The fact that he's not always trolling Doom is beyond me. He should be doing it. I have Wakanda, you have Latveria. I'm coming at you, son. First of all, you have my vibranium, or after a while, I've stopped reading after a while.
I think T'Challa, in order to keep Doom from getting it, destroyed the last reserves of vibranium or some crazy nonsense.
Right. Because I've read Doom more, and I was just saying, like, okay, because I thought, and I could be wrong, I thought he took the vibranium. He didn't just destroy it. I thought he had taken some of it. But hey, I can be wrong. But either way, whether he destroyed it or kept it, I'm just saying Black Panther needs to be on. I'm on your ass for that. I'm going to forever be on your ass until I'm comfortable, until I've smashed you and put you away. To me, that is what I think should have happened. Now, in terms of...
I think Black Panther should be sitting on the throne of Latveria next month.
Right.
It should be like, all right, got that one down, now this is mine.
Right.
Well, you can't take out Doom. When have we ever not had Doom?
Well, But it's not so much about taking him out. It's the fact that Doom has been a thorn in Reed Richards' side. Kingpin has been a thorn in Daredevil and Spider-Man's side. So to me, Black Panther needs to be that for Doom. It's the Marvel universe, y'all. Like, these are the stories that you can actually make that you haven't really done. Where you can mix them up and make them fight. There was a time where recently even, where Beast fought Sabretooth. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a nice mix. It's not always Wolverine, Sabretooth. It's nice to make those mixes. So when you do that, what kind of stories can you make when you do that? And when you miss those opportunities, which they have with Doom and Black Panther, I think it does a disservice to Black Panther, mostly, because Doom is always doing his other thing. You
I
know.
would love to read a story of like a corporate espionage sort of government spy thriller with, you know, T'Challa going after Victor Von Doom on a very both corporate and governmental level, where it's not just him fighting each other in the throne room.
Right. I agree. I 100% agree. I'll take anything else than what I've been seeing lately. But I guess you're not really talking to me. I mean, like the writers and artists are not really talking to me anymore because I only read what I like, and if I don't like it, I don't read it.
Exactly.
All right, moving on. Moving on to the Nike Mags 2015. It's basically the Back to the Future 2 sneakers, but this time with power laces. They've been released before, but these the new ones that are coming out now are
These
gonna
suckers
have.
better have the LED lights in them too.
Yeah,
I
dog.
think, yeah, I think they are. I think they're gonna have all. I think they're gonna have everything that they had before and everything, or that was in the movie, including the power laces. I guess my question here, and DA, you can start this one. Do you wear them or display them? Which one you go with?
You buy a pair to wear, you buy a pair to display. I mean, real talk. And you ain't gonna wear them, but what? Maybe 3 times a year.
All right. Well, what are those 3 times a year then? Well, I mean, what's the 3 times? When you say, is there a specific event that you would wear for those?
Depending on how much these shoes cost, I'm gonna wear them on my head. So how you like me now? So you wear this out to. You can wear it to a costume party. Hell, you can wear it to where are you gonna wear someplace? Where would you wear these shoes?
I tell you where I'm gonna wear them. I'm wearing them NBA All-Star Weekend
There you go.
once. Wearing them at the very top of the summer when I know it ain't gonna rain the hottest day of the summer at least once. And I'll probably wear them suckers to church one day just for the hell of
it. Okay, I'll go with that.
So TJ, TJ, would you prefer to display? I mean, I understand that you would wear them, but would you buy another pair to display as well, or would you just buy one pair and you would just wear them and that'd be that?
Nah, I mean, I would just wear them to be honest. And like for what I'm reading, and I could be wrong. I'm not about to say I got magical sources or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But they're trying to make these sort of like regular sell. They're trying to make them, for the masses. They're not trying to be like super special collector's item.
I got it.
Looking at, I mean, they're designed very similar to the Kobe 9s, or the Kobe 9s are designed similar to them. They make these shoes. They make enough for everybody. Then they come out in a different color and another color. And I can imagine that these will eventually be on Nike ID. So
oh my God.
I would get the gray ones first, wear them a couple of times, maybe put them up in a box somewhere. Then they'll come out with another color, get those, and then eventually they'll hit Nike ID. Then I'll make my own colors,
Okay, so right, I didn't think about that either. I mean, which makes me ask this question now. No one really seems to care that it's Back to the Future 2 related here. You understand what I'm saying? It's like it really seems more like, yo, those sneakers are just dope. They look good. They light up. I would love to have them. I would love to wear them on my feet.
Right. I mean, like Back to the Future 2 came out what year?
I can do my research on it right now, but it got to be like what, 90,
86, 87?
Nah, somewhere around there, right?
Not Back to the Future 2. No, that's the 86.
That was like 91 or 90, right?
Right. I think it came out the same year. Was it Batman Returns the same year?
Okay, so it'd be 89, 90, somewhere around there.
Right. I say that to say the current market of sneakerheads, the people that are spending $500 or $600 or $700 on a pair of shoes.
They don't have any idea.
They're 25. They're between 25 and 30, which means they have no clue about Back to the Future. So all they know is these are really cool Nike shoes. I want a pair, right?
Right.
And Nike's releasing these sort of as a nod and a wink to the fan base that have always wanted it, but they're also looking at how much money they can make and releasing special editions because they're not going to sell them for more than $300 tops, right? They're not going to sell. We're only going to release 2,000 of them for $300, so that way on the secondary market they go for $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000,
right.
And then they end up not making money. They're going to make these to make as much money off of them as possible.
Right, right. Just a side note: Back to the Future 2 actually came out in 1989. I was incorrect. It is 1989. So now that we know this, that's Batman 1, not Batman Returns. Batman Returns is what, 92?
Yeah, that was a good year for Nike then, huh?
I know, right?
Air Force Ones is Bat's shoes and these. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They should just go ahead and release those Air Force Ones again too.
Word, they should. You know, for me though, for these Nike mags, it's you know, the geek in me would love. The only way I would want to have these on my feet is if I got the whole outfit on. You know, if I got the hat, the jacket, the jeans. That's the only way I would want to do it. But I would want to obviously flip it in my own way. You know, I wouldn't want to look like I'm in a costume. You know, I don't want to seem like I'm cosplaying as as Marty McFly. But I wouldn't want.
That's pretty much all you can do.
Right.
You could do. I did for the Thanksgiving Day parade when I worked it. I went into Gap and got a little one of those, what they call them, bomber vests, the little vest jackets.
Yeah.
Outside needed my arms, and I was like, I should get this red cap. And I was like, this looks like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 outfit. So I went ahead and bought a whole little Amazing Spider-Man 2 outfit. Kind of snuck it in there. Only one little kid noticed it. He's like, "Oh, that's the cool Spider-Man hat on." I was like, yeah.
Right.
You gotta do something slick like that. Just make it a normal everyday wear.
Right.
Just,
You know what I mean? Something like that. I mean, like, but I would want like that jacket he had was cool too. You know what I mean? If I can get it in a different color that can match the kicks, I'll be all right with that. I don't really rock fitteds anymore, so I would do without the hat. But you know, if I was gonna wear those sneakers, I would prefer to have it with, I would want to be Back to the Future out while trying to make it look like cosplay. But mostly I would display them. I would want to display them. You know, I would want to put them in a glass case, something like that. Have them light up, turn them on or whatever at night. Have it, light up the house. Or light up the room that it's in. And I'll be good from there.
Do you think somebody's gonna actually try to play an NBA game with a pair of those on?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think if somebody tries to play, no.
I see Swaggy P doing it.
I think it depends. Like it depends on how it's really cut. Like if it's cut where it's an after, then I see somebody being stupid and actually trying to do it. But I really feel like it's going to be a lawsuit on somebody's hands. I really feel like it'll be a lawsuit on somebody's hands if that were to occur.
That's one hell of a fine that's gonna come out too.
So yeah, I mean, I can see the soul probably coming off. First of all, and it'll be embarrassing too. Can you imagine if while you playing the light stopped working while you playing from jumping and landing. Anything like that. Somebody will be looking at you. Or I think all things heads would be like, "Oh, but his lights ain't lighting up," or whatever the case may be. So it's just like, nah, just avoid it. Just wear the case.
Let's wait for All-Star Weekend 2016. You'll see it. In the slam dunk contest.
Right. I mean, and if we do that means Martell clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? People are like, Martell, we don't give a damn. We like him. We're gonna put him on our feet. That's simple as that. All right. I'll move on to our next topic. Which is information. Superhero geek info. Superhero movie geek info.
Oh Lord, here we go. Here we go.
The question is, because
you would put up Marvel's timeline. Don't you know that's sacrilege? Don't you know about you putting that up? You automatically become a hypocrite.
Right. The Marvel heads are going to look at me like I'm a hater. Word up. But it's like this, because and it's not just for Marvel. For everyone. We've been hearing things about Spider-Man possibly coming back to Marvel for Avengers 3 and 4. You've been hearing, obviously we see the lineup. We know who's being Black Panther already. We've seen the costume. We know some of his story in Civil War. We know he will be there. We know that Aquaman is popping up. Wonder Woman is popping up in Batman vs. Superman. We know that Flash is coming. We know who's cast as Flash. We know all these different things. And we know other potential spoilers and things of that nature. The question becomes, when is information too much information? When is this too much you don't want to know anymore? TJ, you can start first.
Ah, I'm burning. My tongue is burning.
Well, I had you start first the
I mean,
last
you want to go?
time.
I
No,
mean,
go ahead. You gonna touch on some stuff. I know that I ain't gonna touch because I'm gonna be a lot more angry about it. Okay.
well, I'll start by saying this: when is too much information too much?
Mhm,
The question is, how much information is considered too much? You know, like
mhm,
for me, honestly, and I know like the Geek Mode members don't think this. They think I'm like this super DC comic guy. I'm
right,
like, I'm not. I'm a Marvel guy. I barely buy DC comics except for Green Lantern, since he's my favorite.
right. His
But I think the way DC did their announcement was right. It was spot on. It was like, it wasn't meant to be an announcement to the public. It was meant to be a teaser. It was a corporate call, whatever. And
mhm,
yes, this Marvel thing was flashy and it was fun and it was exciting, but it alone was still too much information. You know, you got everything going out up until 2018, which basically means if one little thing goes wrong, if Guardians of the Galaxy 2 ends up being dumb, if
mhm.
Black Panther doesn't really do Black Panther justice, if anything goes wrong now, this entire timeline is shitted on. You know, I
Well,
mean, it's like
there's no surprise.
there's no surprise, there's nothing, and then you got like, um, there's also the issue with how much information do the public run with. Like, I remember there was talks of there being a Aunt May solo movie,
Right.
and people were like, "Oh, no, no," and it's like, guys, these are conversations that happen over lunch between executives.
Mhm,
It's not meant for public consumption. And
right.
now that it's like everything gets put into public consumption, it ruins it. It's like, how much of Amazing Spider-Man 2 was bad because it was just not a good movie, and how much it was bad because everything that kept coming out and people having their own, notion of what it was going to be before it even touched the screen. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm.
I feel like we're in an age now where movies are being ruined before they even touch the screen.
Right. Right.
Case in point, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not the greatest Marvel movie ever. Sorry to say that, people, but it was really
Right.
fun. It's really fun and enjoyable, but it was also really fun and enjoyable because we didn't know anything about it. You
Mhm,
know, like, we, aside from Chris Pratt being cast, nobody had no idea who Batista was going to be, what the storyline was going to be. We didn't even have a clue of what the movie was going to be about to the first day. Even the trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy, all the way up until the day one release, was very vague. It was just music, a little bit of music, him having fun, and then that was it. Like, I had no idea what the plot of that movie was going to be up until
mhm.
I sat down in that IMAX theater and watched it.
Right.
But it's like, I kind of know exactly what Age of Ultron is going to be now. I actually know how the movie's going to end. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is how it's going to end. It's like,
Mhm.
I know exactly how Captain America Civil War is going to start. And it's like, all right, that's stupid. And it's like, I already know what Black Panther is going to be about. And it's like, the only movie out of this lineup that I have no clue about right now is Captain Marvel.
Mm,
It's like, that's the only movie at this point, unfortunately, that I'm excited for.
I got you. So
So,
Da, well, you can chime on in now if you want to respond, or you know you got the floor, brother. I'm ducking, by the way. I'm under the table right now.
Okay. Look here. It's the question is it too much information? Hell yeah, it's too much information. It is too damn the information is too damn high. Because you got the one of the things, I mean, we used to be excited and we would speculate on what the movie was going to be about. Nobody knew anything unless you saw a coming soon poster or you saw a trailer that you had no idea was coming.
Right.
And even in like the mid to late 80s, there was a TV show that used to come on the weekends called Coming Soon or Coming Attractions.
Yep.
yep.
It would be on for like 30 minutes, and they would show
I
nothing
think
but
that
nothing.
aired all the way up into 2002, I want to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
coming attractions. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, you've got so much information due to the internet being out. Everybody wants to be the first person or put this information out to share with other people, and that's cool, but the ripple effect of that is what you have to be aware of. And it doesn't bother everyone, but for certain people, it does bother, because I'm one of those certain people it bothers for the simple fact you've got access to all this information. Now you have people coming out of nowhere who have access to things that they never had access to before, and they become creepy obsessed with. Like, you got cats that be out here obsessed with
Not know
run
your names.
times of movies.
Not naming names.
You know, and we're like, you know, I've been on certain message boards, and they will get into arguments about the runtime, whether it's 3 minutes over or 5 minutes over. I'm like, why do y'all care?
Right.
You know, and then you got people, you know, they will obsess over scores, you know, and a lot of, you know, I give, you know, people love music, you know, they love it, but there's certain subtleties, you know. I'm like, nobody cares about the score of the movie. We try to see what the movie, you know, the score. I don't know any movie where the score actually takes you out of the movie.
Right.
You know, if it's done incorrectly. So I think it's the abundance of information has ruined the. I'll say that the abundance of information has ruined the online movie discussion. That's what I'm trying to get. I won't say it doesn't ruin the movie experience. It ruins the online discussion experience, because you have all these different people who have their own, you know, have the weirdest and oddest opinions based on things that they're obsessed about. And you can't even talk about how, you know, just about a basic how good the movie is, because you have all this, and you have all these people obsessing over these particular things that are in movies and film, but they don't know a thing about the characters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, oh, you can Google and understand all this, but you can't, like, tell me why Superman gets his power from the sun.
Right.
So I think that we're in a place where overload of information can ruin the online discussions, but I don't think it ruins the experience, the movie-going experience. The only thing, in my opinion, that ruins the movie-going experience is excessive 3D conversions. If it ain't shot in IMAX, if it ain't shot, you know, for 3D, and it's converted. When was the last time? I don't know when the last time a movie was converted to 3D, but, you know, because everybody's starting to shoot them in 3D. But I think the last movie I saw that was 3D converted was Avengers.
Right.
And that was kind of bad.
Right.
And that was bad. But you know, the and I have to say this, the first and only movie I've seen, the first movie that I've seen in IMAX was IMAX 3D was Godzilla. So I have been waiting for a reason to see a movie in 3D IMAX, and I missed Pacific Rim, and I missed Man of Steel. So
Guardians is okay in 3D as well.
I've heard. So like I said, I think the only thing that's ruined is the experience. Is not the actual movie going experience. It's the online discussion experience, because you get flooded with information, and it's usually information that not everybody cares about.
Right. Okay. I'll say this. As far as superhero information being too much information in terms of the movies, it's like this. I think it depends. I think you can actually break them up into sections and see the disadvantages of all of them. Like people, there are certain things. There's a lot of blame that can be passed on a lot of things here. Let's start with the media itself. I think the media's problem is, you know, they want to get a scoop. So because they want to get a scoop, they want to make news out of everything that you hear. Tom Hardy left Suicide Squad because he didn't like the script, which is now implying that the script is no good, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's the media's fault, along with putting spoilers in headlines, which in our group, if you know, those who are listening that are in our group know, that's why we don't put any spoilers in statuses, because they're unavoidable. If I'm going to a news site, I want to be able to have that option to either satisfy my curiosity or not. Once you put it in the headline, it's impossible for me to have not seen that. You know, so if I didn't want to know what happened with War Machine in Avengers 2 or Falcon in Cap 3, then yo, man, like I want to punch you in your face, whether it's a rumor or not. I don't want to think about it, you know, and I shouldn't have to curtail myself from something that the media should already know not to do, just because you want to get a scoop.
Well,
so right, clickbait, right? So that's my one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that touches on a very good point too. It's like You know what I'm saying? You see these sort of rumors that get perpetrated as being news, which I think is a big issue with a lot of online news sites. They report rumors as news, as fact.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this, and even if you're like, oh, I'm aware that that's fake, or I'm aware that that's bullshit, it sits in the back of your mind. It's almost like poisoning. And so when you go see the movie, that thought keeps popping up in your head. It's like,
Right.
like you're like, oh shit, is this about to be that? Or oh man, I hope this is not going to be that. You know what I mean? It kind of, that's why I think it almost ruins the experience for you as well.
Right. Now, to add to that, and before I go into my second part of that, is, like you're, what was I going with that? Oh, like you're right. If, by you putting that poison in my head, I can't help but to think about it. But not just that, not only that, that is not Marvel or DC's or any company's fault. You brought something up, TJ, by saying, these guys are, they're running off all these rumors and they're making everything, about it. And we are, feeding it and speculating off it based on that. Now, Marvel and DC didn't put that out. It wasn't like Marvel said, we're having talks about getting Spider-Man together. No, the media asked. So either they answered or something got leaked out that has nothing to do with them. So that's not the studio's fault, right? So I can't blame the studio for that. Now, this is what I can blame the studio for. Whatever your trailer looks like. And I feel Marvel, more so than DC, is notorious for this. Marvel, they like to put out a lot of stuff in their trailer. I remember when Avengers was coming out, Avengers 1, right? And I didn't watch it, but I remember reading it was, they put out the whole fight scene between Iron Man versus Thor. And I'm like, motherfucker, I did not want to know that until I sat in the theater. I did not want to know that. I mean, you had your idea that might happen, but you didn't know for what reason or whatever the case may be. The fact that you was like, well, here's a, the 5-minute scene where they fight. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't want to know that.
Yeah.
How about
I remember.
That does get annoying.
Right.
Even though you want to watch it, it gets annoying.
Right. Now, how about this one? Because I think I know where you're about to go, TJ.
Okay.
The Super Bowl trailer, the extended trailer, where they show you where Hulk catches Iron Man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Thankfully, I didn't watch that, and I'll get into why in a minute. But that should not be in your trailer. That is a key pivotal moment that would have blown people's minds when they sat in the theater. Like it gives you a whole different feeling. I feel Marvel, with a lot of their trailers, they do that. I feel like they start to spoil things, especially if you're an avid movie watcher and you just watch movies, you just get movies. You know what these things are, and you know what they're going to mean when the time comes, and you won't be excited or unexpecting anything due to it. Lastly, here's my third part to this. The other problem that has nothing to do with the media, has nothing to do with Marvel or DC, has everything to do with the people. Now listen, I've been watching comic book movies and reading comics and stuff like that for years. When there's something I don't want to know, guess what? For the most part, I avoid it. Trailers, I stopped watching trailers. I only watch, this is my rule. I watch one teaser, one trailer, and I'm done. I don't watch anything else. I've been doing this. I see why
you and Kwame get along so good.
Right.
I'm the same way.
Shout out to Kwame, the founder of Geek Online. This is why I'm always so surprised about everything. I've been doing this. I've been training myself to do this since Blade 2 and Spider-Man 1. At that time I was in college. I didn't really have time to watch TV like that anyway. But, when I saw something on TV, I would just turn away. And even in the movie theaters now, I put my fingers in my ear and put my head down. If it's a movie that I really, really, really want to see,
New picture. New picture of that one.
Theaters.
Right. I think the problem is people, they go and seek it out. So when people get mad, like, oh, they put out too much information, it's like, well, you didn't have to click that button. You didn't have to watch that trailer. We live in a whole new day and age where you can reserve your impulse, doing these things, and a lot of people don't, and I don't think that's Marvel Studios' fault. I don't think that's the media's fault for providing something that at least some people obviously want to grab. The only time I blame them is when I tried to avoid it and I couldn't. I shouldn't have to go dark for 6 months.
3 years.
Right, just so I don't have to find anything out. But I do feel if you seek it out and you find it, you can't be mad what you saw it.
True.
Right. True. I do believe though it is Marvel's fault because I think Marvel as a studio, they're bigger than that now. Like Marvel as a brand, as a studio, they're big enough to not have to overindulge or oversell any product they release. You know.
I agree.
And the proof is in the pudding with Guardians. I touch on that again because if you look back at the promotions of Guardians, there was little to no information given. There was a couple of jokes, but because no one knew about Guardians, they didn't overdo it. You know, you didn't see. I think Guardians was probably one of the first Marvel movies where you didn't get the whole 5-minute preview of a scene from this movie. You know, like
You're right.
One of the most annoying aspects of Winter Soldier, which I love, but it was really annoying, is when they released the elevator scene. And I was like, to me, again, just going back to that Iron Man Thor fight, that to me was one of those scenes where if I didn't know that was coming, it would have been awesome to sit in the movie theater and be like, oh shit, oh shit, we're about to go down. Yeah. You know, and it's like at that point, if you weren't a hardcore Marvel fan, you had no idea that the guy Frank's character was going to end up being, you know, Crossbone, right?
Right, Crossbone.
Like you didn't know, but if you happened to come across that trailer, you read that trailer, then you knew. Like even in that beginning of that ship scene, it kind of ruined it because it's like, oh, he's a bad guy. Like when they're all on the Quinjet flying to the cruise ship or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're talking and stuff. In your head, you're thinking to yourself, is he gonna betray him now? Is he gonna betray him now? Because he's a bad guy. Because I remember that. And it's like that ruined that scene for me because it's like you already knew he was a bad guy, and it's like you should.
I mean, not to cut you off. I'm sorry, TJ, but
go ahead.
For me, the reason why. I mean, like I said, to me, it's 3-part blame. Like I said, the studio, the media, and people. In that particular case, I didn't know that. If you remember the first trailer, because the teaser trailer to me was a trailer. If you remember that trailer, you don't know what Crossbone's relation is, except for when Cap jumps out of the plane. Right. You know, other than that, in that scene, you don't really see him dealing with Cap in that scene. So I was actually very very surprised. I was actually very surprised when that whole elevator scene went down with him. You know, because I avoided it.
I'm only speaking to that. They released a little 6-minute scene trailer. I think it was ahead of maybe Guardians or whichever movie that came out that year before, where they showed the scene in its entirety as part of a trailer for another movie, and it was like. If I came to see this movie and I wasn't expecting that trailer, then damn, I'm stuck watching this entire scene, you know.
Or you could just put your hands in your ears, put your head down, and la 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 la.
But then it was like immediately after that, every headline was Captain America elevator fight, Captain America betrayed by S.H.I.E.L.D. elevator fight, and this was even before the whole reveal of Hydra. Right. It let you know. Right then and there that okay, so something's going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. You didn't know to what extent, but it gave away that big MacGuffin of the movie.
Right.
And I'll say that to say that again. Marvel is bigger than that. You know, they're bigger than that at this point. Marvel at this point can put that little red 5-second logo screen on a movie and say it's coming out this day. Just show the Marvel title and the day it's coming out, and they're gonna sell 500 million opening weekend.
True. Now here, before we end this podcast, I want to go on just for a little while longer, y'all. I want to add something to this. Here is what I do disagree with. I remember reading on the Geek Mode group about this topic, and even though I'm not participating that much, doesn't mean I don't keep my eyes on the boards. Someone said that DC and Marvel basically does the same thing. Here's why I disagree. According to people, DC hasn't even gotten their universe started yet. So with that statement alone, I feel like it's basically kind of impossible for DC to be doing the same thing that Marvel's doing in terms of advertising. They haven't even gotten off the ground yet. So you have to, if you look at the Nolan movies and even Man of Steel, they don't really show you much to where you understood what was going on in Man of Steel. Like I was very confused by what was going on in Man of Steel. I was like, I don't know what's happening yet, based upon the trailer. And of course, the Nolan movies, they don't like showing you anything anyhow. So you really didn't know what was going on there. So the only thing that we know from DC that was told from DC, which was in a shareholders meeting, was their schedule. That's it.
Yep.
When media broke that Aquaman was Jason Momoa, Momoa didn't say anything. He
Not
kept
at
his
all.
mouth shut. He was
Even
like,
though
no,
he
I
was
don't
in
know about
Detroit filming the entire time.
right. Everybody was just like, no, 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 no. The thing
Didn't
that
he,
we know. No, go
didn't he
ahead.
even go as far as to say he was playing a villain in another spin-off movie or something to kind of throw the scent off?
I think so.
I was, if I can interject,
Please
I
do.
was just talking about this last night. With Batman versus Superman,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know
Nothing.
concrete. We haven't even heard from Jesse Eisenberg. He's the main villain.
Thank you.
He is quiet, and it's just like, and everybody is legit angry that there is no info. Like, we got a right to know about the movie before it comes out.
Thank you.
It goes
And
back to that whole much
this is why I
information.
get upset when every time people tell me it's gonna be garbage. You don't know nothing about it. How is it gonna be garbage?
Right.
Because I don't know. It's going to be garbage because I don't know it's going to be garbage.
DC don't know have any idea what they're doing because it's gonna be garbage. Well, how do you know they don't have anything idea what they're doing? You don't know anything about it.
Right.
And they got too many characters in their movie, but you don't know what the movie's about yet.
You don't know if those are going to be cameos. You don't know if they're going to be, how much screen time each particular hero is going to get. You don't know anything. They might just be making appearances as their alter egos.
Yep.
Jeremy Renner spent more time on set of Thor than I would say Jason Momoa did on his Batman versus Superman. And we all remember Hawkeye's appearance in Thor, right?
Right. Very true.
Man, look, don't get me started on.
And then like let's look at Iron Man 2. I mean, Black Widow was in Iron Man 2.
Right.
Who else was it? It was like you had all these characters. Like how do we know that Wonder Woman isn't going to play the same role that Black Widow played in Iron Man 2?
Right.
Like we don't know, and that's the part that's what sort of annoys me the most when people start talking about that. It's like you said, Martel, you can't compare the two at all, and you can't also go on assumption. You can't just assume that you know because you think.
Right. Especially when you want, or there's some who want DC to do it the Marvel way. When they're saying, oh, you got to do it like Marvel, you got to do it like this because Marvel, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, they're doing it their own way. Marvel's doing it their way, which I actually appreciate. Not all of it, but I appreciate it. And DC is now starting their own way. And I appreciate that.
It's like you got, okay, this is what Marvel did. Everybody wants DC. No, it's not going to work the same for DC because they're doing it slightly different. Marvel laid it down. It's like, so now any plan that you lay down, say like you're the first of a corporation to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've now laid the groundwork. So everybody after you is not going to copy your exact same strategy. Mm-hmm. What they're going to do is they're going to change it up for them, what works for them. Right. So now everybody, well, you should have done it like them, or they should do it, or they're just copies of. No, they're just the first to do it.
Right.
Marvel is the first to do this, to make the entire shared universe thing go on. And so any property that decides that they want to create a shared universe is going to be compared to Marvel, which is inevitable, but you can't tell them, you can't be out here saying, well, they need to do it just like Marvel. No, they don't.
No. Right. All right, now, hold on. D, I got to put you on the spot, brother. Got to put you on the spot. All right. We got a Fantastic Four movie coming out, though. And we really haven't seen much of anything from that movie. And if I'm not mistaken from you, you believe this movie's going to be trash. Yes or no?
I don't think I used the word trash. I probably said hot garbage. Look, okay. I just, and this is probably, I just read some information. I hadn't put it in the group yet because I wasn't sure because, I don't like rumors. I don't like posting rumors. I like to post facts. You quote me a story, I want to see where you got that link from. That's why I don't support clickbait. So, there's a rumor out that the trailer will come out February 13th.
Mm-hmm.
for Fantastic Four.
Right.
This is not the first time no promotional no promotional material has gotten out about a movie until maybe 6 to 5 months before.
Right, as it should be anyway. Right.
And which is which you should at least get a trailer a year out. Most movies used to get remember you used to get trailer teasers, and they were nothing but text. They were nothing but words on the screen saying coming soon. Mm-hmm. Or you might have the movie trailer voice guy, and he'll he'll make an announcement, and then you'll have this movie coming soon next year.
Right.
And with Fantastic Four, we had one set of leaks, which were on green screen, which means we can't really go off of that, even though we want to, because Dr. Doom looked like a mummy.
Right.
We had but Thor and the Thing looked on point. So we have no idea how this is going to play out. Mm-hmm. And so I believe personally that because Marvel straight up walked away from it, said we canceling Fantastic Four books, take down any Fantastic Four memorabilia in the offices. Mm-hmm. We not do. Man, look here. When that goes on behind closed doors, you already know they're trying to distance them. And it's more than just a financial reasons.
True.
So
I can hear that.
Because if those movies came out and they were like extremely dope, because let's face it, the X-Men movies are not super dope.
They're not
but
good.
They're decent.
I don't like them.
They're not good.
Right. I don't like them personally. I always have to put it that way.
I mean, you got these movies that people. If these movies were take Spider-Man, mm-hmm. Marvel don't trip off of Spider-Man,
right?
But they trip off of X-Men,
mm-hmm.
And they trip off of Fantastic Four,
right?
So
I don't even think Marvel thinks that the Spider-Man movies are that bad, to be honest with you. And
I
it's just pure speculation, but
I agree with you.
They're true to the characters.
That's what it is.
And Spider-Man are all even though they're two totally different types of Spider-Man, they're still both true to the character.
Right.
And
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was confusing. That's about it, but it was still a decent movie. I don't know.
I think, and whenever you hear true to the character, I always cringe, because you have people who are out there. Oh, well, we want to make sure we made these changes, but they're still true to the character. And then their changes, you're like, no, that's not what this person does. Well, they're still true to the character.
They end up a 6'7" 6'7" Broadway singer with claws.
Yeah.
All right.
Bumblebee not being a bug, but we're not going to get into that.
Let me read this one in. Okay, because I know where you're going with that. That's going to be a whole other podcast. TJ, though, with that said, because he's basically saying, we don't know what it, we still don't know what this looks like. So therefore, do you believe Fantastic Four will be hot garbage? I mean, again, going off of what this main topic is about, we don't have any information. Like, this is basically what we're asking for, yet people are not happy. People haven't seen anything, and people are saying this movie is going to be garbage because they haven't seen anything. So what is your take on that in terms of Fantastic Four?
Let me start by saying this. I've never been a fan of Fantastic Four. I've always found the concept a little silly. Mm-hmm. Not silly in the sense of like, haha, this is funny, but I guess to me, it's just like I could care less about this old dude with this young girl and this brother and this rock guy. Like it never spoke to me growing up. It never touched me. It never I've never been invested in the characters as much. And I also, it didn't bother me. The only thing out of Fantastic Four that I've ever really cared for was the Dr. Doom character, because I love it and I think he's a layered character. Mm-hmm. That being said, by all intents and purposes, this movie will be as good as Chronicles. So if you can take the Fantastic Four concept, if you can take your I hate using this word. To me, this word is just as derogatory as the N word. But if you can take your fanboyism out of it, and just go watch the movie for a movie, I think you'll be able to enjoy it. But if you got to go in there and you're expecting, great templed old white dude with the young hot blonde wife and the super, the super Aryan flame on brother and the grumpy rock guy.
Super Aryan?
Talk about it.
No, let's not talk about it. Let's continue forward.
Let's talk about it.
Yo, I'm telling you. Yo, go ahead. No, go ahead. Continue.
I'm just saying though, like if you want to see that, if you want to see what you saw in the comic books translated to film, you will not be happy. There's no way to make you happy. But if you just go trying to see a sci-fi movie about a random sci-fi group of people that get special powers, I bet you it'll be a decent story at the end of the day.
I agree with you. I mean, I do agree with you. You know, it's not that because this isn't 616 universe for all the laymen out there. 616 is the main universe of Marvel. This is more ultimate Marvel, and there's so much that I can allow to happen into that I'll allow to change. You know, I'm like, oh, this is ultimate. You know, so I can't really get upset over it. You know, which is why honestly, even though I'm one of the ones who doesn't think Michael B. Jordan should be Johnny Storm, but I'm willing to let that go because it's a different universe. And I had a coworker that I used to work with who would always say, you have to remember that at the end of every one of these movies, when you look at the credit, it says based on characters that may or may not appear in this book, or you know. And then when it all boils down to it, when people get out of control, you gotta be. It's make believe,
which is a whole nother topic. All right, so you know, on that note, I'm going to end this podcast for this one. For today, I'd like to thank my guests.
Wait, do we get last words? Do we get last words?
You know what? Because I'm real done enjoying this, and I probably should cap this off. Yes, everybody has at least a minute. Last words. TJ, last words.
Last word. Geek Mode. Everybody that's involved in Geek Mode, all of our friends, fans, followers, group members, everybody. Can we all agree on two things? Can we stop making Superman versus anybody battles and Superman versus Goku/Batman battles? There's no winner. There's no right answer. There's no way to end that battle without fighting each other. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. There are thousands of comic book characters that can fight each other. Let's retire Superman. Let's retire Batman. Let's retire Goku, and we'll be happy.
No, DA, don't you respond to that. Don't you do it.
You said it like you know me.
Yeah, don't even do it. Don't even do it. Go ahead, DA. What's your last words, brother?
I can't even follow up after that, my man. I ain't got no last words. But,
all right. You know, my last words are I hope that everybody enjoyed. Whoever's listening now or who will be listening as they play this over and over, that you guys enjoyed it. If you're playing it over and over, you must be enjoying it. We have plenty more coming and plenty more Geek Mode podcasts coming and more things that we plan on doing in the future. Stick with us, grow with us. Hopefully you can stay with us and enjoy it. Again, I'd like to thank DA and TJ for being here on this podcast. Trust me, these brothers you will hear from more often. And that's that. Everyone, peace and love. Geek Mode to the death. See, when you go that means I'm trying to find my way out. And my way out is to say, you know.
Give him the old Russell Simmons.
Right.
Peace, love, and God bless.
Right. Good night.
All right, you know, so of course, hit the like button on the YouTube clip, comment on this podcast when we put it up on the group. Have people come, you know, bring people to it, watch, listen. Well, don't watch, just listen. And thank you so much, and please continue to share what you geek for. All right, peace. We out.
Peace.